Hello, good evening. Welcome to the LFC Daytrippers post-match show. I'm Keith Plunker hosting tonight, and I'm joined by the ever-optimistic Andy Young, the semi-optimistic Garbrain, and the not-so-optimistic tonight, Chris Brack. How's it going, folks? How are you, Andy? What are we making of this?
Thank God it's over. Don't think I could have listened to Tyler and Smith for another second. If it wasn't bad enough having to endure that, painful. That was painful. It was worse than a pre-season friendly. You know, we've heard the league being described as pre-season and pre-season friendly since the return, but that was worse.
It was.
Yeah, it was a hard
watch. It was.
But you just have to remind yourself that the league is done now. I'm really looking forward to next week.
Yeah, I think we do have to keep emphasising that, you know, too many people are forgetting the context that, you know, the match didn't mean that, and it didn't mean that because we've wrapped up our business nice and early. Gar, I'll come to you. As Andy just said there, it wasn't great, but what are the positives we can take from it?
I think of the first half, like, you know, we started off really well, lads. Let's be 100% honest. We were cutting through them. Maybe you can fault that we didn't have enough shots at and test Martinez a lot. But there was a couple of Mane I thought was trying and wanted to win. I thought Minamino did well when he came on. Keita, dare I say, done very well when he came on. You know, those little highlights in it, and then when each mistake goes in, you have to sort of reality check and go, we've won the league, lads.
Yeah.
So you're pissed off. In one side, you're going, for fuck's sake, and you're screaming, you're, and then the next minute you just check in. So it's really weird having the two sides of it. It's great.
Yeah.
But at the same,
it's a new experience.
I want to win, and you know, I want the players to win every game, and I know it's the lads have their flip flops on, all in fairness, but I want to win every game, and the points record would have been nice, but we've won the league.
Yeah, exactly. Chris Brack, my man, how are you?
Awesome, mate. I'm out top of the world. As you saw by my rant before we came on.
Chris had a little rant.
It may come out, yeah.
It might come out. I think it could do. What did you make of it, Chris? Are you of the same opinion as the lads that, look, it wasn't great, but the grand scheme of it?
Okay. I think the phrase is fucking woeful. It's the phrase. The frustration was we did start really well, got an early goal, looked good, and then the two goals we conceded are just shite, and it just kills all momentum. And I think we've seen is if we have a good start and we get an early lead, and we say if we get to a 2-goal lead, we're fine. I think if we get a bit of a setback now, I think we've got to that point where we've had to come back so many times. I think mentally the lads are like, I don't think they can do it again because it doesn't matter. I think they're all concentrating next season, don't get injured. You know, I agree. Manny was fantastic. I thought he was the only one who was going to win it for us. I get it's pre-season, but I did dig out Van Dijk and Alisson because I get you go down a level or two, but basics like that, I don't think are acceptable. I'm not being funny. Joe Gomez has done something similar and has been lambasted for it. I know Van Dijk's fantastic, but, you know, let's be fair, call it as it is. It was pretty shite. Keita, no, not for me. That performance when he came on is what we've seen most of the season. We see flashes of what he can do, which is, you know, looks really encouraging, but it's just a flash. And, you know, Chamberlain, I must admit, I was surprised he started because I don't think Chamberlain against Arsenal worked. I think he's too pumped up to prove it against his old club. I think it's natural. You do want to stick it to your old club, and I think he's too pumped up for it. And he flips in now. Salah's just, I think, because he can't get golden boot anymore. he just seems to be off on his own now. Which, look, but as Gar said, he's won the league, and no other club has won the league with 7 games to go, and then goes, well, what do you do now? So you say go and win the last 7, but mentally it's got to be it's got to be hard. I just think with Liverpool, unless they get a quick 2-goal lead, they're probably not going to kick in now, which is frustrating.
Yeah. It's true. I mean, the Oxlade-Chamberlain point, he was pretty woeful there tonight, but at least he got his guard of honour from Arsenal, which was nice to see, So, and Dicko gets in early there with a point about just sending the lads off on holidays early and letting the 23s play Newcastle. And it's something that, when you're looking at the lads playing and you see players like Van Dijk and you see players like Alisson making mistakes, they don't make them mistakes, and they've made them in a game that ultimately doesn't matter, But what would you think, Andy, about that, about giving guys that maybe aren't in the first team picture more of a chance? We saw a few of them coming in tonight, and we saw one of them dug up from the bleeding deep freeze in Shaqiri. But do you think a few of these boys should be getting a run for the Newcastle game, or even, as Ant suggests, go for the under-23s?
Yeah, I seen a comment there a few minutes ago. Just we won the league. Klopp and the players don't really care about points totals. Why not play the fringe players? It's a good point in hindsight, but the last couple of games against Burnley and against Arsenal tonight, the water break kind of killed us.
Yeah,
we did really start well up to water break, and then a couple of mistakes. So I suppose up to tonight, the points total was still on. I think it's only their little bonuses, their little things to brag about. They're not really important in the grand scheme of things. But what is important is we look at how to prepare for next season. So I suppose a bit of that is playing the fringe players, and a bit of that is keeping the strongest kind of 11 to 15 or 16 players playing too. So there's an argument there for both. But certainly I'd say in the last day of the season, we'll see a lot more fringe players playing. They'll probably want to play the strongest 11 there next week against Chelsea just for the day that's in it. But we're running out of time to give the likes of Harvey Elliott a run. Bit disappointed we didn't see him at all.
Yeah, it's one that I thought we might have seen in games, but maybe just the way the fixtures have sort of rolled out, there's no standout game where you can probably see him playing. Maybe Newcastle to get a game, but we'll wait and see. I mean, it's hard. We haven't been great since we came back from the pandemic, and in a way it's understandable. If we maybe were still chasing something, the intensity would have been still there and would have drove them on. But when you're that far ahead, and it's hard to keep up the levels that we were at. And I say this all the time, when we were such a well-oiled machine, having to be at 110% for 2 years, when that pressure is lifted, the drop, and what we're seeing from players, the mistakes we're seeing from players, they're not characteristic mistakes. They're not something that you like. Are any of you worried about Van Dijk going? I know Chris had a bit of a rant, but are you worried about Van Dijk for the start of next season? Are you worried about Alisson?
No, not at all.
Do you know what I mean? And
not at all, Keith.
The thing.
Like you say, they're uncharacteristic mistakes. They don't happen when you need to concentrate.
Yeah.
Van Dijk gets a little touch. He's normally way stronger. His body position, everything else is awareness. They're just floating around. And it is typical of the type of thing you've seen in pre-season. I don't know. Is there anything you can really take out of these performances that mean anything for next season? You can see Salah tonight. Like, one of the things we are chasing for the rest of the season, well, Salah's been chasing his golden boot, but it was the quietest I've ever seen him for Liverpool. I don't know whether Arsenal done a good job on him with Tierney there and going through at the back. If there was ever a way to really stop Liverpool playing, Arsenal gave a decent example tonight. But Liverpool's press wasn't on, and the ball wasn't sent out to the right near as much as it normally is. In fact, it was probably played 75% down the left with Robertson and Mane. Normally we'd see the opposite. I don't think Trent played one crossfield ball. The guys are on the beach. Fuck, I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it, Gary? You know, when the as Andy just said there, when they're on the beach, it's hard to drill any sort of intensity. Are you reading too much into it tonight, or are you just of the opinion that look, we wanted to win, make no mistake, but we won't lose too much sleep over it?
You guys have touched on. You've just said about obviously the weight, if you want to call it, and you know the anxiety and was things going to be called off, or then you've got players coming back with nearly 3 months of shite training. Let's be honest, doing yoga and ballet on Zoom sessions, and trying to get that intensity back. You're going to get injuries. The way we play, you're going to pick up injuries straight away. We wrapped the league up. And players are we could see it in the game after we wrapped it up, that players were on holiday. And you have to, you know, the biggest telltale for me is when you see lads coming out after half time and if the manager's reaction has he lashed them out of it or not. And to me, Klopp is clearly just saying, lads, let's just try and get a result out here, because they're not coming out at half time and going full tilt to try and batter a team in the game.
That's it. It's Donks has put a comment in there that arrogance is creeping in and a real lack of humility. Hard work ethic is being forgotten and bad habits have crept in now. I think that's a bit harsh myself, but Chris, what do you make of that comment?
No, I don't agree with that. I've calmed down a bit now. I'm always a bit, as you know me now, quite fiery after a loss. But I think generally, I'd like to see how another club does it when they've got 7 games to go. I don't think it's arrogant. I think it could be a combination of 2 years of hard graft. It took 2 years of Klopp getting this. Klopp gets out 97 points. We're going to get at least mid-90s again. You know, people need to remember, before last season, we'd never broken 90 points. Now we're going to do it 2 years running, and we're going to, you know. So you know, this team has done that. The mild concern, and I'll call it a mild concern, is this will be the 3rd year for us in like an intense battle with City. And we've seen this year with City, the 3rd year's killed them. Now, that's partly down to they didn't replace Company. That's the big reason they're a bit done in. But there is that slight mild concern. So I would have liked a couple of fringe players to do better. Minamino gave me a little bit of hope. He actually looked a bit lively. You know, I still don't think he's got a goal in yet, but he looked all right. I actually was surprisingly quite impressed with Shaqiri when he came on. You know, he at least looked a bit. When he got him on the ball, he looked like he's still got that ability to put a decent ball in. Trent was just off it today, which, do you know what? In 2 years, if he's off it after you win the league, I'll take that. It's
allowed. So anyone that's listening, guys, we've 60 odd watching us at the moment and only a handful of likes. So if you can, on YouTube, smash that like button, hit the bell icon, get the notifications and all that stuff, and subscribe to the channel, and you'll get all this positive, happy-go-lucky podcast and after the feeds that you won't get on other pod channels. Fact. Madge Apple has put a comment in there, and Gareth, I'm going to come to you on this one, as I know it's something that you've been speaking about. We needed Hendo in there to give Virgil, Ali and Fab a good bollocking. He would have scored early too. Now, it's a good point about the talking aspect of it. Do you think it's something that we've missed since he's been out? The organisation?
Certainly it showed in regards of his leadership in games that he hasn't been in. Listen, we've wrapped up the league, and obviously he's picked up an injury at an unfortunate time. But let's be 100% honest there. His leadership clearly shines through, lads. The fact that he will turn around to lads, and no matter who it is, and they all seem to do it to each other, in fairness, and sort of take them out a bit after a mistake or after something's happened in the game is good leadership. So I believe he has been missed, but at the same time, you know, it's a real mismatch because of the way the games are going, because we've won the league, because of certain probably attitudes within the team at the moment. That right's grand, we've won the league, we can relax a bit. We now have this as a pre-season / Andy's just touched on it. They're friendly games, more or less.
It is, yeah, it nearly is. And I know Klopp is coming out. He's at pains, Andy, about saying that, you know, they're not friendlies. They're giving it their all. But the performances haven't been up to scratch really, since we've come in. And is there a lot of people are saying that there wasn't many performances tonight? So Mane and Robbo are getting a lot of the plaudits in there, and fair enough, they were both good. As you touched on, a lot of the attacks were coming down the left hand side.
Yeah.
Do you feel, Andy, that any of the substitutions made an impact? Because a lot of people are saying that Minamino looked lively enough when he came on, and I thought Keita was fairly lively when he came in. Was there any bright spots that you could see, or was it just one of them days where nothing? What big enough players that probably don't deserve to be picked up?
I think Minamino was good. What was good about Minamino, he was tidy in tight spaces. Arsenal played like a Burnley team for most of that game. Lots of numbers back, 11 men behind the ball for the majority of possession we had. So I'm not going to criticise Keita because that's not his game. It's not his game picking the ball up in acres of space and running into space and just running into walls, running into crowds. You want to see Keita winning the ball up high and running at players backpedaling. So very difficult for a player Keita style to do much there. But it was a decent run out. It's pretty much like Keita's been for Liverpool since he's come in. Decent, nothing special. We're still waiting on him. But Minamino was probably the pick. Shaqiri was okay when he came on. Divock was just there, standing around as he normally does. After that, who came on?
Bring back the flag. Bring back the flag, lads. He's lost his magic since the flag got taken.
The mojo was gone. Yeah, the mojo was gone. I think that was it. Was it? That was the only subs. Yeah, we didn't go for a fifth.
With the Minamino, hopefully plays. Hopefully gets a 90 minutes before the end of the season. I'm certain he starts against Newcastle. Actually.
Yeah, I mean
Chelsea.
It does make sense.
I don't think you start against Chelsea though.
No, I think you go for the strongest team.
I think you go with the strongest team available. I'd probably throw Keita in there instead of Ox. That was a big opportunity for Ox tonight, playing in his favourite position, playing with the three boys ahead of him. Didn't really take his chance.
Yeah,
no, it's hard to think because he was brilliant against that, and he's just never found that form back. He seems to have been crippled by this break.
Yeah, true. So Donks has said, like, does Genie look like someone who's playing like he could be leaving? Or again, is Genie just suffered from the break?
Doesn't try. I think if you threw that idea into someone's head, you might be able to read it. But if nobody on this podcast or anywhere else start making up stories, would you be even thinking?
Who could that be? I don't know where that rumour's come from.
That's true, isn't it? Like, when we all think, we can look into the minds of the footballers and all that and think, his head's not in it, he's playing like he's leaving. He's just probably, going through a bit of a blip after being so intense for 2 or 3 seasons. It's hard to pick that up when you've got over the line. Stevie's going to drink himself to death. So when Stevie, just knock into him, give him a little bit of a cuddle or something tonight. He takes the feats very, very badly. He takes it bad, so come knock in and see him. Gar, you were going to say something there.
Yeah, it's possible. And the last few games have shown us, lads, is the real lack of quality coming off the bench, and lads have been coming off the bench, bar the young lads, because obviously they have a lot to prove. But lads who are around that squad, obviously Shaqiri today, Origi, really look like lads who are on their way out the way they're coming on performing, don't they? They just look, like there's not a care in the world. These are lads you want to come on and try and impress and try and prove a point to the manager for next season that you should be involved, or so they have to me look like lads that could be on their way out.
Yeah, I mean, Shawnee Lawson touched on this a couple of weeks ago on a show about he thinks Divock is the ideal sort of replacement striker because he's not going to moan and he's not going to be knocking on doors to get games, Andy. But do you think at the same time he's not exactly taking the chances that he's getting. He's not grasping it. Or would you think, no, he's okay, Divock? Or would you think it's somewhere that they could do with an improvement?
Yeah, we've seen Divock do the business when it's been important. We've seen it like very rare when he starts games. Does he play well? It's normally coming off the bench. But tonight he just came off the bench and he was just as Origi is, just sort of hoping that the ball falls in the right place for him. I never really like seeing him playing centrally with bodies around him. I like to see him kind of isolating his man out on the left and coming inside. That's where I think his strengths are. But no, he's fine. He's a fine backup striker. But we probably need someone who's a bit more like for like with Firmino, which I think is what Klopp is trying to design with Minamino. He wants Minamino to learn that role where he drops deep, has a bit of fight about him, and then crops up in spaces when defenders can't really track him. But in terms of Origi, Origi's spot as third choice to Firmino is under threat with Brewster coming back next season.
I was only going to say that, and he's banging in goals. He's been brilliant on loan. Does he go on another Premiership loan, or does he come back and come into that pecking order backup?
So Klopp has to look at either bringing Brewster back or buying another striker. I would suppose Origi gets another season and Brewster goes out on loan again, or else Brewster comes back in and replaces him. Look, we're not the system we play. Firmino plays pretty much every game. It's only if we had a long-term injury. I think we had a long-term injury to Firmino, we'd have Minamino come into the role. So Divock's the type of player you bring on, when you want to change the idea, just something different. So he gets a lot of talk for someone who's kind of just very much a fringe player. I mean, it's not really necessary singling him out. We find himself talking about him a lot. There's other areas where we could probably do it.
Certainly, and we could do with a lot of backup. I agree 100%. It's the reason I think he gets picked at a bit is because I think he might be fairly saleable. If you know what I mean, he might be one player that we may get money for. Now, look, I think he's fine as well. I think it's a hard position to deputise for because you have to get on and sort of grasp it when you do. But I was trying to lead you down the Brewster Pat. So Chris, I see Brewster gets another goal today, a nice goal for Swansea. Do you think he could be an option next season? Because I think we all have to face the reality that we're not going to be bringing in, big name forwards or big name players, expensive players. That's not going to happen. And I think as a fan base, we do have to start understanding that and trying to see creative ways of bringing goals in. Do you think Brewster could be that option, Chris?
Possibly. I think my opinion is I think he'll get another loan, probably a Premier League loan, to really see how he buffets it, because I think that's what Klopp might want to see. But again, I know we're saying as fan base we've got to get to the realism. We're not going to spend big money, but that doesn't mean you can't bring somebody in. I mean, I know he has. I know he's not stayed fit, but in his first season, Shaqiri was a great bench option, and for £12 million in footballing terms, it's not a lot. So, I wouldn't surprise the club are looking at a version of Shaqiri who is more like a Salah and Mane, more of a wide man who can play central. I think that's what they want. That's the problem with Divock, is he's nothing like Salah and he's nothing like Mane. So playing him out wide, it doesn't suit him. He's a great, as Andy said, he's a great plan B. Last 10, 15 minutes, just throw on a really big lad. He's very different to the front three we've got. So that's what I think we're looking for. Go back on the Henderson thing. I think the other thing that we are missing, and I think that's happened when we've had these bad results, is unfortunately for us, whenever Henderson's been injured, we've lost Milner at the same time. And I think you need one of them to keep you honest. And I think even Milner, although he's getting on, he still would have got a bit more honesty out of a few players, I think, as well. I do think that's not. Stuff, yeah. I think that's killing us, having captain and vice captain both out at the same time. We saw it at Watford, and we're seeing it a little bit with Burnley. I think that's probably what we're missing.
Yeah, Darren Dunbar throws in there about bringing back Rujic for next season. I see he's linked with Hurt that are looking to make him a permanent signing. So I think if anything, that might be just money coming into the coffers. I can't see him really forcing his way in. And don't worry, folks, we will be actually talking about the match. We won't give too long because it was fucking brutal. But we'll try and just look at comments and see any other stuff we can talk about. And they'll come to you. We will look at the game now. So we started off well, right? We looked good and we get the early goal. How did you think the game was going to pan out? Did you think it was just going to be a procession after that goal, or was it just a goal out and nothing? How did you feel that the start went?
Yeah, they did start well. The Arsenal sat back, which when I seen the three centre backs, I thought, yeah, we're not going to see wing backs here as such. I think on the left was Saka, was he kind of came around a good bit, and it made it very difficult for Salah. He couldn't get on the ball, so you have to give credit to Tierney there. He got very close to him a lot and cut out the supply to him. And Saka came across and got in front of Trent a lot that he couldn't play his passes. So credit to him there. But we had a good bit of joy down the left, and the goal came after Mane had a chance, I think, before that, or we kind of got down a bit of joy down there. I thought once the goal came, Arsenal would have to come out and we'd pick them off then with a few more. But the mistake just, the water break first, and then the mistake changed everything. And I mean, I think that's where the concentration and the attitude of being on the beach kind of shows up mostly. Whereas normally you'd be like, right, switch back on here, let's get on this. This is bollocks, the league is at stake or something's at stake. You're playing in a Champions League game, knockout game. Everything just switches back on. But they were just whatever. And then Alisson came close to making a mistake before his mistake, and then played the ball to Robbo. Robbo was running away from it when he played it to him.
It is.
And another night, they would have scored before Arsenal scored, and then Arsenal would have crumbled.
Yeah,
we played worse and won games.
Yeah. And Chris, something Andy touched on there was Salah's ineffectiveness there, and putting that down to a good job by Tierney on the left and Saka. The two of them actually doubled up, and I think it is a way to nullify Salah when teams that do put two fullbacks. Essentially, Tierney's a left full, and then they just had Saka sitting on top of him as well. Is it a good sign from Arteta that he's, Arsenal got their goals, they were lucky to get their goals, but they shut up shop and just put a block in front of Liverpool that we just didn't have the urgency to get through or get past? Is it a sign that Arteta could be turning things around at Arsenal, or is it just giving him too much credit for us being a bit garbage?
It's a bit of both. He's definitely got them playing and doing things that Arsenal haven't done for ages. I mean, I must admit, even at 2-1, I thought, well, probably even a half pace will turn this around, because Arsenal aren't renowned for turning things around. The issue Arteta's going to have is, I don't think he's going to get the back end he needs to bring the players in he needs. And Arsenal are historically quite quick to turn. So it's how long he can ride that crest of a wave, really. I think he's doing things in the right way. It's whether he'll be given the time. The Salah thing, we've seen a few clubs right now. It seems to be either the Napolis and even Everton, when Ancelotti had them, they either go 4-4-2 to really get tight to Salah, or they do this 3-5-2, and it has been effective. Now, I don't know if that's just because we've dropped the level because we've won the league, or it's a tactic people are using that is slowly becoming a bit effective. So, but you'd like to think, I mean, look, Klopp knows more of football than most of us. I'm sure he'll probably have a way of evolving the team, whether it's bringing players in or just tweaking tactics. He's, that's what he may look to do, is just tweak the formation, tweak how we work. Do we start playing South through the middle? I'd be intrigued if Bobby's ever out again. Do we change our formation or change how we play slightly to negate the fact we haven't got, for me, play something different?
Yeah, and
what that is, I don't know.
It's true. It's something that we touched on Shaqiri there. Shaqiri can really only play in a number 10 or out on the right hand side. he doesn't have the versatility, you know. So if Salah was to go central at the moment, we probably don't have someone that could really do the right wing without moving Mane over, and you're making too many changes then. But it's something that I think Klopp will be looking at. I think it's something that, you know, he's not a stupid man. You know, he can see that teams are changing how they're playing against us, and they're doing this 3-man defense where the one of the centre backs is probably a converted fullback, has pace, can run and can tackle, and is nullifying, because Spurs done it on Mane as well with Tanganga as well. Mourinho stuck him on Mane and just sort of took him out as well. So it's something you have to deal with going forward. But I'm going to go to Gar. Gar, we take the lead and out of nowhere, we balls her up, right? What did you make of the mistake and the reactions to the mistake, the first one? Does it leads on to the second one then? Was it just the case that the players were mentally switched off, that the second one happened so quick after the first?
The first one, Andy pointed to it earlier, Van Dijk is so soft for it, and which is extremely unusual. Let's be 100% honest here. United fans probably going all out on Twitter tonight, trying to turn him into Harry Maguire. But listen, then the second one is so bad. Robertson's throw is awful. Let's be honest. Alisson should volley it away rather than try and give a half a pass back to him. But it's down to concentration, fully down to concentration. The water break does us absolutely no favours, because
I hate these water breaks.
But listen, let's be honest here. The water break, everyone has to. The two teams have to be involved in the water break. So,
oh yeah,
you know. So let's be, the two teams are involved. So Arsenal didn't drop the level after water break. Yeah. So in fairness, we weren't on it after our break. So they're two really, really, really poor mistakes. Now we know lads are on the beach and we get that, and we've won the league. I want to win games. I'm sure there's a lot of other fans. I'm sure there's players out there. You saw Mane tonight. He was popping up everywhere, Keith. And that thing of, in fairness, to double up on Salah. Well, why doesn't Salah do that? Come inside and interchange, because they've often done it as a trio anyway. Crossover, interchange. They always do it. So he's just stood out there. And you can see by Salah tonight, even his reaction after Mane scores, his face. And then the ball's played. A Minamino shot, actually. In the replay, you see Salah's face as well, and you can see he's a bit scorpy and grumpy, and then he gets taken off, and you can see, he's a bit paid off, because he obviously has this gold boot thing on his mind. In fairness, it's a couple of games left to do it, but we don't think he'll do it. To be fair,
no, I don't think he'll get anywhere near it. Like, to be honest, I think
it's just attitude, Keith. It's pure attitude.
Yeah,
that's it. And players, some players seem to want it at the moment, and some players are just happy to go through the motions.
Darren Dunbar puts a good point in that Man U are playing better without fans, and we're not the same without them. Different types of pressure, and it's a very good point. United have come back and have sort of blitzed through their games. Now I know their fixture list has been very, very favourable to them, but to play, to be a team that's getting 70,000 and they're putting them under pressure, and they're seeing the benefit of not having fans, whereas we're losing nearly the intensity that the fans could have helped to give. It's just, we all wanted football to come back because we knew we were going to win the league, but the worry was this was the sort of shite that we were going to see, and here we'll take it because we won the league, so we couldn't really care. I'm finding it hard to be too downbeat about this defeat, even though we all are a bit down. I'm not finding it.
The United comparison it's not a fair comparison though, because difference is United need Champions League football, so they knew for them to get, they thought top 5, but top 4, they had to go on a hell of a run. If they looked at the fixture, we can go in it, and they obviously got a fresh player in January, which helped them in the nicest possible way. We knew we needed max 2 wins, and we got them so early. That's probably why our intensity has dropped a level. I still fully believe that if it was, God forbid, we were in this situation, if we were like a point ahead of City after that lockdown, partly I'd have no hair, but also I think you would have seen a level of intensity because it's back to right game day. We've got to go, which they've had to do for 2 years. I do wonder how much of a mental thing it is of. Well, you do have to go and try and fulfill the fixtures, but if you lose, there's less of a repercussions in some ways. Whereas with United, if they lose or that, when they drop points as answer now, they're now looking going, shit, we've got no mistakes in us now, as we're out of Champions League, which for them is huge.
They're beaten. United have beaten absolute tripe on their 4-game run. You're talking about teams like Bournemouth, Brighton, Villa. They come up against Southampton last night, who are on their level, mid-table, shit. And they struggled, and they played really badly, and they made mistakes. They won't do anything against top-table teams playing Fernandes, Pogba, and whoever else in the midfield, and then 3 strikers across the top. Yeah. It's not comparable. That's great if you've got 75% possession. But there's other teams who'll pick them off, and they got punished last night.
Yeah, and the reason I wanted to bring them into it was because I don't know if any of you have been on Twitter tonight, but the Man U fans are out with glee comparing Van Dijk with Maguire, because last night, I made a tweet about Maguire being pretty shy on the Southampton equaliser. But it's like they're just waiting. It's like this whole thing when Wan-Bissaka gets an assist and they all want Trent to come outside for the scrap. Maguire makes a mistake and now they all want Van Dijk to come out. But the difference is he's made one mistake in 3 years. Do you know what I mean? Whereas Maguire's making them every single game.
Keith, it's all they have to hang on to.
Yeah.
I remember it so well myself. United were winning titles, and we were saying, well, Luis Garcia is as good as Ronaldo. Look at those last 3 games. Luis Garcia scored 4 goals and Ronaldo's only got 3, so he's better. And then these mini victories.
Yeah.
Let them have them, right?
Oh yeah.
Harry Maguire is absolute dog shit. Absolute dog shit. Virgil van Dijk is the best centre back in the world. He's Rolls Royce. He's quality. His first mistake in his life tonight, and it's after the team after win the league, and they're all on the AL, and whether they do give a shit or they don't give a shit, the attitude isn't there. It's but Maguire is playing way above his level.
Yeah,
he's a mid-table team player. Maybe that is their level, but marking his own players, turning the way he turns, he's getting shown up in every single game. He's absolutely dog shit. So let Man United players or fans do what they like.
Leave them to it.
We're better in every department. We've better. They talk up Wan-Bissaka. Someone says he plays like he's after getting off the waltzers. He makes loads of tackles. Whoopity-woo.
Yeah.
If he, no good player spends their whole fucking 90 minutes on their arse making challenges. They stand up and they do it right. We've got Trent Alexander, who's the best right back in the world. We're better in every single department. They have a goalkeeper that used to be the best in the world. Now we have the best goalkeeper in the world. So they can make all these isolated comparisons and boast. But we know what it feels like. We know what it was like to be that other person.
Yeah.
We know what it was like to be talking about our history and talking about next season. And that's them now. So
it's great let to them see have it. It's great to see.
Let them have it.
One of the
I still remember.
Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
I still remember sharing like league tables. We used to go like, oh, if you stop the league, if you stop the games after 80 minutes, we'd only be a point behind United. And you're seeing all that now. It is just like, I don't think they realise that they've become the mirror image of what we were for a long time. I certainly one of those people trying to find any crumb of comfort.
Yeah,
Chris, I remember. Half decent play, you still do it.
Yeah, I remember we counted all the balls that hit the post and the crossbar as goals, as an argument.
Yeah.
season.
So
I
if
remember
all
that
those,
Kenny
yeah,
season.
if all those balls hit the crossbar of the post went in, we'd have won the league.
Yeah. We've all
remember that
seen
on
this
those.
particular film. Like, we all know how this one ends.
Yeah.
It's a long wait. You know what I mean? So
I'll take falling short of the record league points any season.
And that's what I wanted to get to. Gar, I'm going to come to you. You know, I think as fans, I think we're more invested in this points record maybe than Jurgen and the players are. And that's not to say that they didn't want to get it. But I think as fans, we're all kicking. I don't have a cap, or I'd go out and buy a cat just to kick it now that we're not going to break the points record. But ultimately, it doesn't really mean that, does it? You know, it's something that's nearly a point scored and exercise on social media now, isn't it? It's
100%, and it's also a thing that's been driven. The usual media agenda pops in there, because how many times have we heard Cretin face the points total, Martin Bleeding Toilet? He's often talked about it in games the last few. Yeah, they're not going to get the point total now. That's, we've won the league with 7 games to go, for fuck's sake. Like,
yeah,
that in itself is ridiculous. Yes, we've been very sloppy in the last few games, but let's take into fact of what's gone on the last 3 months and what we had to come back to, and what we were glad to come back to is a couple of games to wrap up a title. End of story.
Yeah. He's a frustrating man, isn't he? As Avo points out there,
it's totally media driven, the points thing, because they've obviously took it into every game. Oh, Liverpool can do the points record, Liverpool can do the points record, and then obviously, as we know, it blows onto social media and the world talks about it, and then it gives you United and Liverpool fans a thing to argue about on Twitter. It's madness. We've won the league, 7 games to go. Good luck.
Yeah, exactly. As Avo points out there, like he was talking, Toiler was saying about Salah couldn't control a ball, and he was after being substituted 5 minutes before that. You know, his commentary is just absolute melodrama.
Every time Minamino got the ball, he goes, "Great move by Salah." I thought, "Fucking hell, he's doing well. He's sat on the bench."
Yeah,
he thinks Salah and Minamino are the same player.
Yeah,
you know,
and he hasn't even got a. He has it like he normally has Neville or Carragher sitting beside him, where clued in to give him a nudge and say, "That's not Salah, mate." You know, but he has an other equally an equal idiot in Alan Smith. Like, he's the worst for me. I can't stand him.
Yeah.
And
I can think of worse than him.
Sometimes I can understand that, a commentator that irritates me, why they're in the position they're in. But I'm at a loss now with the likes of Alan Smith, how he gets to co-commentate. Completely offers absolutely nothing. No insight. He never says anything where you're going, oh yeah.
Wow.
Didn't think of that. So they're totally lacking it. And this is Sky TV, and people are paying £100 a month for all the channels.
Yeah.
It was even worse when I went to the studio. I thought Saul Campbell, for a guy who was in his prime, was absolutely magnificent. He offers no insight. He's boring. The only thing good about that studio is Souness, who offers insight to games, who gives you tactical intelligence, who just gives you a bit of knowledge about the game that you can feed off. But he was just as bad in the studio. He was so boring.
Yeah. Redknapp as well needs to go.
There is a little tranche of them, isn't there? A little cohort of garbage there that sort of crept in, and it's a complacency thing, because we go back a few years ago and it was, Andy Gray and the other clown Keys, they had that little gentleman's club going on Sky, and it was too comfortable for them, and there was nothing, and they needed a shake up, and then Gary Neville and the likes come in, but now that's starting to even turn as well. And I agree with Andy about Alan Smith. I think he's one of the worst out there, and I don't think he should be commenting. Look, I don't give a shit about tonight. Alan Smith is Alan Smith, but I don't like him commentating on Arsenal games, and I don't like him commentating on Liverpool games, because all I have to hear about is the goal he got in 89, and they went and showed a banner about 89. Who gives a shit? Do you know what I mean? Like, they're playing on that past glory of his. It was like anytime someone got a header, Andy Gray, Toiler again, oh, you'd have put that away. No one cares about these guys. Just commentate on the game. I know it was a shite game tonight, so we can probably give him a pass. Well, it's just the level has gone down. The only excitement Tyler had in the second half was when Alisson nearly made another mistake. Didn't, but nearly looked like he did. Donks have a point.
Alisson again, and
Yeah.
anyone watching that he hasn't lost control.
Yeah, what's going on?
He did it. Yeah, he did it with Alisson, I think, a couple of times, and with Van Dijk as well. Van Dijk again, Alisson again. Fucking
It's
people
terrible.
are paying money to listen to that.
It seems to be a thing of that industry, though, lads, doesn't it? You look at Tilsley, who's been demoted the other day, and he for me is quality in years gone by, and he's been demoted.
He's iconic, anyway.
Yeah, 100%, and he's been demoted for an absolute. I don't know who you know if you know who he's been demoted for, but it's your man, the Moose off top.
Is it? Sam
Who's it?
No.
A matter of fact, sorry, a matter of fact is not bad.
Is it Mataface? I don't know.
It's either him or the Moose. It's one of the.
Is it one of them?
And
Mataface is the most.
Clive Tilsley,
monotone.
Yeah, it's ridiculously talented commentator. He's so knowledgeable. He obviously gets his facts right before games. He's constantly telling you about players, facts you wouldn't know, and these are things that fans want to listen to. Not that crap you had to listen to tonight or with Sky all the time.
Yeah,
he's the most monotone fella in the world, isn't he?
Yeah. Sam Mataface, and it could be him. But it's one of them things, isn't it? It's you just want the commentary. Like, I don't want everyone to be blown smoke up Liverpool's arse, don't get me wrong.
No.
But you just want them to be fair and sort of impartial, and you don't get that on Sky. They slip into this sort of coziness where you do get it with Tilsley, you do get it with Peter Drury, you do get it with some of the other guys. You don't always get it there. Donks makes a great point in the chat tonight, and I think it's something that I can't overlook. Since my terrible predictions, they're jinxing us. I think I had us down to win 5-0 tonight, possibly 6-0 against Burnley. I think I went for something like 8-0 against Villa. So I think I need to stop doing predictions.
I'm blaming. I think it's Gar's fault. Every time he comes on these reaction shows, we lose.
Well, there you go. Could be you.
No, we believe we added we added someone to our WhatsApp group recently, and our form's been shit since we got out.
Not naming any names.
That's not me.
No, we won't name any names, but yeah, can't be argued. Santiago says in Mexico they get Peter Drury for most Liverpool games along with Jim Beglin, and they're fantastic, and they are fantastic.
Yeah, that's what you get on you get them on the American channels.
Yeah. And it's nearly like a different game, isn't it? And I think that's why, maybe I'm wrong, but I think that's why there's a big drive now for all these watch-alongs and, Hotmic commentaries and all that. Because I think people are just getting a bit sort of sick of listening to the show that they're getting on the actual...
I watched the game the weekend on, I don't know, it must have been Al Jazeera TV, right, or whatever it was, right? And I found I didn't have a clue what was being said, right? But the commentating, the man just was so lively through. It was absolutely deadly. And I hadn't got a clue what he was saying.
Yeah.
But he was so positive through the whole session. I know you're obviously talking about a different country or whatever, but he was so positive and he was driven, and his character just shone through. It was like if I had been, not a Liverpool fan watching the game, it'd have made me mad interested.
Yeah. That's the difference though, Gar. Like, I think when you look at the foreign channels and they're being broadcast to people who maybe aren't so in touch with the narratives and the media that's going on, they talk about the game and they talk about what's going on in the game. It's commentary, but what we're seeing with Sky now is like the wrestling. It's like soap opera stuff. They wander off in conversations about Harry Kane or something in a Liverpool and Everton match. That's not commentary. That's just like trying to pop crap up with gossip or bullshit. And that's what Sky's that's what Sky's game is, I think, at the moment. But it won't change unless people stop paying for it.
Yeah. It's true, and that's not going to happen, is it? So it's you're just going to be stuck with it, and that's why I think people are looking at doing these, like I say, these watch-alongs and things like that. I think they're just looking for something different. But look, we're drifting, which is great because, as I said, the match was absolute bleeding brutal, and the second half didn't really offer much. We saw glimpses from Naby Keita, we saw glimpses from Minamino, we saw bleeding Samson Shaqiri coming back since his bleeding hair transplant. Looks fantastic, but Jesus Christ, I don't know if he has much left in the tank. There wasn't much creativity for the rest of that game, was there? Chris, I'll let you have a little say on this. The second half just petered out, didn't it?
It did, unfortunately. I thought if we were going to get an equaliser, it was going to be Manny or no one. He looked the only one who was probably going to do something, but it didn't happen. But again, we'll probably have calmed down in the show. I can't get too worked up over it. The things that are more winding up for the moment is this winning the league with 7 games to go. He said so blasé, and it's like, it's never been done before. Yeah. Forget your points totals. This has never been done before. No club has ever been in the position in England or Scotland with 7 games to go, yeah, what do you do now? No one has. And the great Liverpool sides of the 80s never even won it with 7 games to go. And they had some amazing sides. The great United side, and there have been some fantastic ones. Never got close to this. I think the next closest is 5. So, and it's interesting. People, I mean, I'm not his biggest fan, Rio Ferdinand, but I've had Ferdinand and I've had Souness both say the same, which is like, what's it like after you've won the league? And Ferdinand joked, said, like, I was drunk for the next 2 weeks. I said, I can't remember. I was horrendous. He goes, why? I said, well, what's the point? And Souness was saying, he went, yeah, you can't help it. But everyone seems to say, oh, I think it's the Pep thing, because Pep did 100 points. Everyone assumes it was great. But, City, although they won the games against 100 points, they were hanging on against Southampton the last game of the season, and City don't do that. Yeah. So I think it is the banter points, because people want this banter thing to say, we've done this, you've not done this in arguments. Well, if you want that, we won the league with 7 games to go. Come back when you've done that, and that'll take a while. So
yeah, sick of these guards of honour as well. Now, what's that? 5 of them we've had. Fuck's sake, it's getting embarrassing.
It's all I look forward to now.
Well, is it unsettling them? You know what I mean? Is that the lads just want to be all business? They don't want this throwing rose petals at them.
Yeah, see, nobody's had 7 of them. So I suppose like coming running out to them, they get less special each and every time. And I notice a lot of the players' heads are down coming out.
Yeah, they do, don't they? Yeah.
As if they're embarrassed. Like, I'd prefer them to look up and stare down the opposition.
Really milk it.
Yeah.
I'm bringing that up because is this something that always happens? If a team wins it with 3 games to go, they get 3 guards of honour? I always thought it was just the next game you got a guard of honour.
So did I actually. I thought it was only the following game.
But this shit that's going on, it is a bit iffy at this stage. We've another 2 to go. We'll enjoy them because next week, and the reality is we want to move on to next week now. And we just have we'll touch on it before we finish up. Gar, how do you think we'll approach this Chelsea game? I was seeing someone in the comments earlier saying we'll get walloped if we go in like we did tonight, but Chelsea aren't in great form themselves. Do you think it's a full strength and he'll be really pushing them not to put in a bit of a stinker like that?
Yeah, I think God's full strength. Don't forget, lads, Chelsea are have to guarantee a European spot as well, don't they? So they're going to go for it. And we've seen Lampard this season in games against us as well. He really wants to go for it, and Chelsea have done all right in them as well. Let's be honest. I think the Newcastle one we chop and change things around a bit.
Yeah.
And hopefully we do, because as Andy said, we're going to see Elliott and people like that more. And Curtis Jones, I thought, was excellent the last game. How he didn't get a few minutes tonight was beyond me, but he was excellent. It was so positive, and tonight probably would have been the game for him.
Yeah, just
apparently he missed a bit of training. He said.
Okay, well, that's why. So he's just being rested. I think the positive thing out of tonight is we take their physio after. I think the physio jumped on the couch back home tonight, doesn't he?
Does he?
Yeah. Morgan joins us next year, doesn't he?
Work with Arsenal, isn't he? Yeah, we took it back.
He comes back to us, doesn't he? Yeah, he comes back and he's really highly rated as well. So that's I suppose is a good point. The club are doing the right things behind the scenes. Let's put that out there as well. He's very, very highly rated as a physio. So it's good to see we're doing things in the background as well, because it's obviously done right in the last couple of years for us.
Yeah, it's a great point, because it's one of the things that Klopp, when you play Klopp's style, you need the players on the pitch, but you need the backroom team. You need the nutrition, the fitness. Yeah. You need all of that to be absolutely on point. And it's something that, again, I'm going to say, we said earlier, there's not going to be a lot of activity transfer-wise for Liverpool this summer, but it could be little tweaks like that they'll do, that they'll look to be creative, and maybe a positional change for someone, as Chris said about Salah going centrally. He might look to be creative that way. And do you think, the reason I'm bringing that up, do you think we could see that in one of the games, like a Salah central against Chelsea, and try something different? Or will it just be, I'll go to Andy there, will it just be the front three in their usual familiar positions, the midfield availability? It'll be Fabinho, it'll be Wijnaldum plus one of Keita and Ox, and then the back five will be the back five.
Yeah, I do. I honestly think it'll be whoever's the strongest team that's available. And after Ox's performance tonight, Naby Keita probably shades it.
Yeah.
So and the exact same shape. They lift the next week. I'd imagine they lift the performance. Although there's no crowd there, they know the fans' eyes are on them.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different. They won't be there, but they'll know they're outside the ground. There'll be fireworks throughout that game, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. As Marco says, Hendo needs a week to practice the shuffle. He does now with his gammy bleeding knee, but it's a big one to look forward to. It's one I always think back to Gerrard's last home game, and we got absolutely mauled by Crystal Palace. His last game, then we got even more mauled by Stoke. We don't want to get slaughtered on, even though it's party central, right? Kenny's there, he's going to be presenting the trophy to Hendo on the bleeding cop or whatever they're going to do it. Jamie Webster will be playing in the kitchen or something on the loudspeaker. All sorts of carry on.
They're just making space for Kenny's cabinet on the cop.
That's it, yeah, that's what it is, a replica of the cabinet.
Yeah.
But it will be nice to get a win and sort of the last two games see them off in style, because for all I said that I don't think that the points total was more a fan thing that we wanted. The players deserve, it's a second 90 plus point season in a row. No matter what we finish on, it's a phenomenal haul that we've done. I mean, not many teams have got over the 90 point bar there, and we've done 2 in a row. We don't want it to go. There's already little agenda sneaking in that, it's a failure because we're not breaking the win record. We're not breaking the point record. We've lost games since we've come back. We don't want it to give more fuel to that. So it would be nice. It would be nice to go out on a win. Stevie's not happy with us tonight. He thinks there's more life in the graveyard. It's hard to be excited after that, Stevie. You know what I mean? It's hard to be positive. I mean, we have Andy in tonight. Mr. Positive. We're doing all we can, but my Jesus, it's a tough slog.
I think we're suffering a bit of a hangover, like the players, aren't we? We're going to be in great form next week, but you won't get to see us.
Yeah. Very true.
Yeah.
But look, it's hard to be too positive, to be too excited. We try. I mean, we don't get too negative. We don't have many defeats these days to be overly negative about, but it's hard to be positive about that. Look, we went in. Arsenal, if we hadn't gifted them 2 goals, probably still be playing now and wouldn't have scored. They didn't offer too much. They got the win. We were sloppy. Happens. You know what I mean? It didn't cost us. Ultimately, we're going to be getting our trophy next week, declared champions. This is what we've all waited for. And I think too many fans are losing sight of, we waited so long for this. Let's not pick holes in the small shite that's happening, and let's just enjoy the big thing that's happening, before next week. So, lads, we'll wrap it up there. It's been an emotional night, or maybe not for Stevie, not emotional enough, but look,
see what you've done, Stevie. We want to go home now. Well, we are home. We want to go to bed.
If you want to do anyone has any questions, just can throw them in. But
I haven't been in the graveyard in years. I'm going tomorrow after that show.
Yeah, that's it. I'll see you down there. But no, look, it's a tough L one to get too invested in. You know, it's not exciting. It wasn't the worst. It wasn't the best. We got beaten by Arsenal. It's always a killer. As I said, I'm predicting 6-0 wins. Was a bit out with that.
I think I was hovering over Salah, making Salah the triple captain on fantasy football. So I was all over goals there tonight. But it's fine margins when you're like that. And again against Burnley, it was fine margins too. You score a couple of your chances early on, and next thing it's a blitz, and the same could have happened tonight. Fucking okay. Plenty to look forward to, especially next week. And and in the meantime, we'll just wreck all the FSG out heads on Twitter, and that'll be enough entertainment to do me.
That's it. You know what I mean?
Have you seen the Klopp quote, which I think in Twitter world is called the top red quote, which is I cannot find a negative and a positive when this team has done so much to finally win this club the league, or words to that effect. If I had tweeted that out, or you tweeted, I think you tweeted that out, you got more followers than me. That's top red territory. That. But when you read that, you sort of go, it's a good point, and you sort of calm down after that. Though.
Look, it just makes me very happy. It gives me joy to see certain fans not enjoying all of this. It's to me, it's like another trophy because they had a voice and they had a no, I wouldn't say valid point, but they had an unproven point. For a long time, a lot of supporters like ourselves who've suffered a lot, and seeing bad teams, really bad Liverpool teams, and when you see the improvement and you see the hope that's there, and all along, like for the last 10 years, you know, we seen a good bit of football under Rodgers, but it was going in the right direction, and then Klopp comes in, and you see the growth, and there's still people unhappy, and all we were kind of missing was the title, and we got the European Cup, and then we got the title to shut these fellas up, and still they won't enjoy it, so they'll never ever enjoy Liverpool winning, and winning trophies. Signing players is more important than winning trophies. And I seen a really good tweet there tonight, which sums people up in that carry on. The generation now, it's like posting pictures of really nice meals on Instagram, but they wouldn't be able to tell you what it tastes like.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That's a perfect analogy, actually.
Yeah, and we've all tasted some shit football, and this I said it the last 2 seasons. Every week on the pod I says it. Pinch yourself.
Yeah.
Look around you. When you go to the games, next time you're in Anfield, or when you just look around, smell it.
Yeah.
And remember for the rest of your life, because in 5 or 10 years' time, whether FSG are still there or whether Klopp is still there, I guarantee you it won't be as good.
Yeah.
So
and you're dead right.
Yeah. So all these negative bastards. I'm delighted. I'm delighted you're not enjoying this, because it makes it all that sweeter for those of us who are enjoying it. And I keep saying the next week's going to be amazing.
Yeah, and it's a great point. You know what I mean? We've as you touched on earlier, we've all had a load of shit over the years. We've all raved about Paul Ince being the final piece of the jigsaw. Turned out to be a stocking, but you know it is. We've got an Arsenal fan in the chat there, by the looks of it. Siphon Alt, come on, you Gunners! I'm assuming. Fair play. The AFTV boys must be on tonight. I wonder why. They must be having a quiet one, which is surprising. But you know, for Siphon, you know, you're going through the stuff that we're talking about here. You know, it's been 20 years or whatever since you have won the league. Hang in there. It gets easy. After about 28 years, you become desensitized to it again, and the pain. You
develop a very good black humour.
Yeah, the pain stops then. You know what I mean? So, you know, it gets better for you, pal. Don't worry about that.
I'll tell you what, the race for fourth, when we used to be in the race for fourth, is well more stressful and well more unappealing than this.
When you're in it, yeah.
Yeah, when you're in the race for fourth, it's shit and it's horrible.
Brutal.
when you're in the race for a title, it's a nice pressure. It's a nice way to be. It's enjoyable because 99% of the time you're going to win. It's just how you win.
We
And
weren't
that's
even
what it
in
is.
a race for
Whereas-
the title.
Yeah, well, yeah. But, the races for fourth, God, they were horrible. The years of finishing 7th and 8th, Everton above you and all that,
Yeah.
I've been through enough of that. Been through enough of that. I'll take this every time. Always getting into the mid-90s every season. Sound by me.
Yeah.
Sound by
They were dark times, and now we've won the league, and there's people like on Twitter doubting FSG's intentions and making money. I mean, charities don't buy football teams.
Yeah.
You got to hope that your the fans rewards and the investors rewards marry in the middle somewhere along the way. And as fans, you just want a slice of the cake, but we're after getting the whole tray now in the last 2 years. All the big heavy silverware. And they're welcome to return investment.
Sorry to disturb you, but as you said, the investment stuff, lads, what fucking coach could have done what's been done at our club for the last couple of years? Let's be honest. He's had to spend what's come into the club. Our business model is not renowned or not run around Europe very often, and doesn't bring a lot of success around Europe if it is done that way. Bar Monchi, who's gone to Sevilla and done it through decent recruitment, let's be honest here, and won a couple of Europa Leagues back in the past. But no one else could have done that. Let's be honest.
But Garrett, people
does not go into that situation, Andy, and settle into that. He doesn't.
No.
Mourinho is going to piss and moan now for the summer for money to spend to resort that Tottenham side out. Arteta tonight has to fucking give David Luiz a new contract. Look, come on. Look, people need to fucking cop the fuck on.
It's the only industry where you seem to get. Oh, I love it. I love that. Oh, passion. A bit of passion.
Now I see on Borg there. He makes a comment. FSG hit the jackpot with Klopp. Absolutely. Anybody who gets Klopp, any football team that gets Klopp, whether it's PSG, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Manchester United, all the rich clubs across the world, they hit the jackpot too if they get Klopp. But people seem to think that it's some sort of coincidence that you just you have this model and you spend what you bring in and then it works. No, it's all down to systems and processes they put in place, and they carefully monitor every single player that they're trying to recruit. It's not even about whether they have ability. It's whether they have the attitude. Yeah. Everything is measured that they make less mistakes in recruitment. And they made mistakes in recruitment early on, whether it was the transfer committees or the manager. Okay. But as they went along, they've recruited all the right people, and they've surrounded Klopp and Klopp surrounded himself in people that know what they're doing. And it's not a model that many people can replicate, but it obviously needs a good manager to motivate the players as well. And that's what Klopp is absolutely incredible at, is the motivation end. But just don't get disheartened by the whole financial fair play taking a bit of a kick in the stones this week, because financial fair play is going to be here to stay in some form or another. In fact, if anything, UEFA are going to have to look at their own how they regulate it and how they don't make mistakes again, because like any big organization, the senior officials now will be in the boardroom and everybody be looking at them going, he's fucked up big time.
Yeah.
They're one of the UEFA, European football, and they make schoolboy errors like that. They try to enforce their own laws and fucked up. So if anything, and the model, the whole financial fair play has worked for football, and it's worked for Liverpool. They went from 0 to 100 in the last 10 years. And they're at the big table now, and it's all about sustaining that. It's a bit easier to sustain it than getting there, and And there's no better owners in the world when it comes to sustainability, because everything they've done is about building for sustainability.
It's true. It's very true. And it's something that, you know, I think we are all losing our heads over financial fair play being dead in the water. But Liverpool have, you touched on it there, they've got to the top. It's not like we're trying to go from 7th to get there, and financial fair play is going to hold us back. We have a model now where they're going to look for ways to be smart and intelligent, and that's what you want. I mean, football's the only business that you get punished for not turning a profit. You know, everybody wants you to be up to your gee in debt, you know what I mean? And it's just, what's the point? It doesn't make any sense, you know. But look, we'll leave it at that. And anyway, tonight, lads, it was a good show, a bit of passion at the end there. That's what I love to see after an absolute scabby game. But Andy, thanks for coming on and trying to give us that positivity that we so dearly lacked.
Yeah, Keith, we've so much to look forward to.
Yeah, exactly. Don't forget it, but don't forget it. That's what people need to remember. It's only the start, lads. It's only the start. This is the week. This is trophy lift week. Start planning your days now. Start planning your days off work and all. This is what we've been waiting on.
Build up to Christmas now.
Yeah, exactly. Christmas is cancelled. This is it. Right. Chris, thank you for coming on and joining us.
That's all right, mate. I'm on the drinking countdown now for Wednesday.
Good stuff. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. Garbrain, always a pleasure, my man. Thank you for joining us tonight.
No bother, pal. See you tomorrow.
We've been the LFC Daytrippers. That's been our post-match show. We haven't talked much about the match, but, you know, it is what it is. We'll wish us all a good night.